Well, hello. My name is Andre Willis Johnson, and I am the managing attorney of the legal clinics. And thank you so much for tuning into this overview of the clinical program and a brief overview of how to get to our clinic application during our application cycles, which for the fall typically happen shortly before spring break in around March, early March. And for the spring clinics, that application cycle will typically take place around October. So if you keep your eyes on the MyLaw web portal, you will be able to see announcements as they come in. But those are the times in the years where we are typically seeking applications and that our cycle is open for you to apply to our clinical program. What are GW Law's clinics anyway? Clinics are a few things. We are a public interest law firm. So here on campus at GW, you as 2Ls and 3Ls will have the opportunity to represent clients. So you are not just assisting with representation, as is the case in different experiential learning opportunities that you may have come across at GW, but you are the attorney on record. When the judge turns to you in court, it is you who are speaking or representing your client directly, of course, with the strong supervision of our faculty that practices in multiple practice areas. So in our on-campus public interest law firm, we represent clients across Washington, D.C., and beyond. Two of our clinics are practicing in federal jurisdictions. That would be our vaccine injury litigation clinic and our intellectual property and technology clinic. And we have 18 different practice areas. We are growing every day, it seems, quite quickly because we hear the needs of the students and that the desire to practice in different areas. And we also see the needs of the surrounding community. And we really exist to meet those needs. We take up a lot of real estate in the Foggy Bottom area as a law school and as a university. And so it is only appropriate for us to give back and serve the surrounding community with our legal talents and skills as we develop them. And so we are a public interest law firm. We are an academic program. And so in the clinical program, you will register for your courses just as you would any other seminar or course that you sign up for at GW Law School. The only caveat is the clinical program does require applications. So you will apply, again, I mentioned those timelines around October and March, depending on which semester of clinics you're hoping to participate in. And so after you submit your application, we will then get back to you and let you know whether we're able to have you join us the semester you've applied for. And once you have a green light from us that you've been admitted into the clinical program, you'll then sign up for that course or that class that will be associated with your clinic as part of the clinical program. And so each practice area that you sign up for, or each clinic in particular, will have its own seminar, which you will attend in some instances weekly, in other instances bi-weekly. So you'll be in close communication with your clinical professor, and you'll be able to talk through and think through those details as you are thinking about signing up and even after you've been admitted. But we are an academic program, and we are a professional development and mentoring opportunity. Clinic is very unique in that the student-faculty ratio is about 8 students to every 1 faculty. So that's a really intimate opportunity for you to get to know your faculty members quite well. That's help and supports with things like recommendation letters as you may need them as you're going off to seek postgraduate employment. And of course, you are arguing before judges here in DC and Maryland courts and surrounding courts, just depending on the clinic that you're participating in. And they see your great work. They're seeing your skills. Not just judges, but you are in a number of our clinics working with government agencies, negotiating on behalf of your client with different agencies and other nonprofits and local organizations, and really supporting entire communities in some of our clinics. And so you are getting to know a number of folks locally. And of course, you're under the mentorship of your faculty supervisors and other supervisors, which is a really strong opportunity for you to grow in your professional identity before you graduate, which is quite exciting. So just a high-level overview of our clinical program. Students are eligible for some of our clinics starting the fall after the 1L curriculum completion. That would apply to evening students who have completed any other additional prerequisites and perhaps have flexibility in their schedules. Of course, you will need to reach out to our clinical faculty to see if that flexibility that you have with your either full-time employer or other work that you have would work well with their clinic. But after the fall curriculum is complete, students are able to begin to look at clinics that they might already be eligible for without any additional course prerequisites. So we encourage you each year or each cycle that you're applying. So again, if you're applying to participate in clinic for the fall semester or upcoming fall semester around March, and if you are looking to participate in clinic in a upcoming spring semester, we encourage you to take a close look at, in advance of the semester that you're applying, and certainly in the semester that you're applying, look at the MyLaw web portal, where we will routinely be uploading documents that talk about really the brief overview of the skills that you'll gain in the legal clinics, as well as the descriptions of the clinics that you could potentially participate in or apply to. And as part of those documents, there is a list of prerequisites and co-requisites. And shortly after this discussion, we'll do a quick run through on the portal so that you all have a little bit of a guide on how to get to those resources. But do encourage you to take a very close look and kind of chart your path. If you know that you want clinic involved in your legal journey, then begin to be thinking about that earlier on so that you can plan for the necessary prerequisites after you complete your 1L curriculum. Nearly 20 clinical offerings, again, exist in our legal clinics. I say nearly 20 right now, it's 18, but it's truly growing by the day. And so we have a heart for, the hope is that in years to come, all GW Law students who want to participate in a clinic, who desire to do so, will have the opportunity to do so. As I mentioned, the student-faculty ratio is quite small. And so right now we're very close to all students being able to participate in clinic, but there are instances where we need to give preference sometimes to third-year law students or law students who are in their 4LE year, because they are given preferential treatment because they're closer to graduation when compared to, say, a 2L student who maybe has another opportunity to participate in clinic. So we are growing, again, to meet the needs in Washington, D.C. and the surrounding area, but also to meet the needs of our student body, to give you all practice exposure to as many areas as possible that will help you have the hands-on experience that you need to increase marketability, but then, of course, to be excellent, outstanding, empathetic, strong lawyers. So we have you in mind in that growth process. We have clinics that exist to provide different levels of experiential learning. So we have 2-credit clinics, which are, I would say, give about an average of 8 hours a week if you're participating in a 2-credit clinic, whereas our 4 to 6 credit clinics that you'll see typically can take around 15 hours to 22 hours a week. So there is a difference in time commitment. Of course, neither of these are exact rules for how every specific week would go, but it is a good thing to keep in mind just to see whether you do have the opportunity in your schedule based on some of your other commitments whether you do have this amount of time to dedicate toward clinic, because it can be a substantial time commitment. And we do find that students are actually really eager to participate and really set aside this many hours a week, if not slightly more in times, because the work is so engaging. 22 hours a week could include sitting with a client for 2 hours, going to argue before a judge for 1 hour, and preparing for those meetings for 30 minutes to an hour. And so this is work that you may not have been, or you certainly were not exposed to unless you've already participated in a clinic and kind of played that first chair role in your legal matter. And so students find that quite exciting to be able to fill their time with actually being the lawyer on the case or on the matter. I do want to make a quick note about grades. Graded clinics, we have graded clinics and clinics that are graded on a credit, no credit basis. And all of our clinics are actually graded with letter grades, with the exception of our small business and community economic development clinic, which is actually currently not offered in the fall of 2023, but it will be offered in the future. So stay tuned and keep checking our portal for any updates on that. And the civil access to justice clinics. So there's several separate divisions of the civil access to justice clinic, which we will talk more about. But just to have a note out there that there are some clinics graded on a letter grade basis, whereas others, the minority, are graded on a credit, no credit basis. So this is the current list of our clinics. As you can see, there's several different divisions of our civil access to justice clinic. We have civil access to justice clinic that focuses on education, equity, and advocacy. Civil access to justice focusing on family law. Civil access to justice focusing on nonprofit and entrepreneurship. Civil access to justice focusing on prisoner civil rights. Civil access to justice focusing on workers' rights. And the rest of these clinics are 4 to 6 credit clinics that you can participate in at any given time. 2 notes I do want to make is the Domestic Violence Project, which is actually more of a hybrid between the clinical methodology for teaching and the field placement model. And so that one is unique. I do encourage you reach out to Professor Joan Meyer for more details on that. And of course, look at our resources on the MyLaw web portal on that clinic, or on that offering in particular. And also encourage you to take a look at our Rising for Justice clinical opportunity. It's listed in the second row here toward the right side. That's a housing advocacy and litigation opportunity. And that is also has a unique opportunity to work at the Rising for Justice site. And there we have a faculty liaison at GW Law for that clinical opportunity. So any questions for that you're not able to get answered from our materials on the GW's MyLaw web portal, you can direct those to Dean David Johnson, who is our GW Law liaison for that program. And the remaining clinics that you see listed are, again, our 4 to 6 credit clinics. And you are also welcome to reach out to the faculty members that you see listed and associated with those clinics. So by the numbers, at any given academic year, this is actually all creeping up quite a bit, but we have about 210 students participating, about 240 clients, and about 7,000 hours of free legal services that are offered and provided by our clinics to the surrounding community. So in short, we have a very large impact in the GW Law in the surrounding area. And our clinics make a very significant difference, again, in the surrounding areas. We are often featured in highlights and headlines in the news. GW Law's clinics testified before the DC Council on Prisoner Sentence Reduction Act. Vaccine injury, that clinic, the Court of Federal Claims awarded over $100,000 to folks who took the vaccine, various vaccines, and were injured. And there was an award that was gone out through that. Human rights report issued at the UN. Custody granted to domestic violence survivors quite frequently. Custody granted, Medicaid benefits restored, and minority-owned businesses and social enterprises and other forms of entities launched. So some of these matters, as you can see, do make headlines and some don't, but they all are extremely significant to the people that we serve in the Washington, D.C. area and surrounding areas. And they're really significant for the lives of our clients who we are impacting. And so it's important to remember that the value of this work is really lifelong. It can be the difference between saving lives and reuniting families, which is a motto of our immigration clinic. And it's really significant. So it's incredibly meaningful. So you are welcome to scan here. This QR code, it's the easiest one that will go to the space where you will find our clinic application during the time periods I'd mentioned previously, around early March, for applications that you're submitting or hoping to submit for a fall participation, and in October if you are looking to participate for spring. So you'll find the clinic application, and you'll find associated materials, videos from our faculty, various documents such as the brief guide to clinics and the clinic descriptions, which is a very robust document where you can look at, come the application season, you'll be able to see when the seminars will occur and when any potential requirements for clinic orientations will occur. So do encourage you to take a look at that if we're in the middle of an application season and that is of interest. There are videos from faculty and students on each clinic available in this QR code as well. So do encourage you to just peruse through each of the links that we have there. It's probably the most comprehensive resource that we have, that you can take a look at the various news stories and everything else that's going out. And again, our news stories and updates and other things that we are celebrating are available and accessible there as well. So that is it. And I want to walk us through how to get to the GW Law's web portal and how to find our clinic application. And so I am going to start with our GW Law homepage with the excellent video that our communications team has put up. And so for you to get to the GW Law web portal, typically I just go to the top here. Others refer to it as My Law. So you'll go ahead and click this button. And from here, I am logged in as myself. And I'm going to go to the top ribbon here and hover over to see department info, scroll down to clinics. And here, I'm going to zoom in a bit to make sure that you all can see. But you are going to see that you have landed on the clinics page. This is our address. We have a lot of general information for student application. So at the time I'm creating this video, it is March of 2023. And so we are in the middle of our application cycle. And so students are able to take a look here at the high-level overview of our clinics, any descriptions about where to find the prerequisites and the skills listed. And here are the documents that I referenced earlier. In any given cycle, there will be documents that are here, the brief guide to clinics and skills. This is just a video our faculty member created for our civil access to justice divisions, and the clinic descriptions, which is that robust document that I mentioned that will have everything from seminar times that are offered for the particular clinics, as well as obligations that may exist in terms of clinic orientations that are required for your particular clinic. So a lot of students like to keep that in mind as they're doing future planning. And over here on the left side, I would really recommend you have a look at most, if not everything here. But there's a listing of the class schedules, clinic application materials, the application itself, and again, various videos that our faculty have submitted in advance that relate to the clinic's distinctions between our experiential learning. And you'll also use the portal when you are in the clinic. And so I do recommend you use it as a tool throughout the process. And again, it's fairly simple. If you scroll down here, you'll see in the given cycle that you're looking to apply to, it will be a new news update, so news and announcements. You'll click in and you'll have the opportunity to click and view the clinic descriptions, instructions, and apply. So thank you for listening, and thank you for your interest in clinic. We are always very excited to know that our students are interested in clinic. And again, my name is Andrea Willis-Johnson. I'm more than happy to connect with anybody if you have general questions about the application. I know my colleague Milagros Tudela also fields questions that come in through the clinic admin at law.gwu.edu email account. So between the two of us and of course your clinic faculty, who are the best resource for clinic specific questions, we are all happy to get your questions answered before you apply. So thank you again, and look forward to seeing you in the clinics. Thanks. Have a good one.